Welcome back to the ABCs of ERP and Beyond, your podcast for navigating the world of enterprise resource planning. In today's episode, we're diving into the synergy of Microsoft BC and other Microsoft powerhouses like Outlook, Teams, Excel, amongst others. So imagine, if you were wondering, a world where your ERP system isn't just a siloed tool, but rather a central hub that collaborates effortlessly across your entire digital ecosystem. But before we start, as ever, let me introduce the other host of the podcast, Nirav Shah. Welcome back.
Thank you, Peter. How you been?
Not too bad. Recovering after Barcelona. Far too hot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like 38 over there. So in freedom units for you, that's like 110. I'm done. Like anything over 60 and I'm done. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty similar story here. I was in Dallas last weekend and I was golfing and it was 110 degrees and it was brutal. I think they should shut golf courses down when it's like over 85 degrees because you can't golf. You can't golf at over 85 degrees. But did it. We braved the heat, even though I felt like I was going to pass out on 17. But we were able to get through the last few holes and survive to talk about it. So that's been my week. Still trying to recover from that small little trip that I had there over the weekend.
that sounds like a really tough life, doesn't it? Oh, I had to struggle around the golf course.
Someone has to do it, Peter. I jumped. I came to bat. So
Well done. I'm proud of you. Well done.
thank you. Thank you.
So recently we had a successful demo. First time we've shared a screen before, showing Acumatic at that time. Here we are again with another screen share, this time Business Central. But more importantly, something that I really, really love, and it's the integration of Business Central with other tools that pretty much every office these days are using. Like, who doesn't use Outlook these days?
Right. Right. Absolutely. And a lot of this, I think what we want to show today is through Business Central and how it all kind of folds in nicely to these other Microsoft solutions in the Microsoft stack, or I think they're calling it Circle, one of the two. But it's like you mentioned, it's ERP is no longer just one dimensional where this data just sits in one place. You need to be able to use this data real time in various different solutions and products that you use day to day outside of being in the ERP system. Um, there's a big movement towards this, and Microsoft is in the cutting edge of this interaction and data flow. So it's exciting to see what they're doing with their ERP and making it cross-functional across data, products that we use day to day with Microsoft, right? So it's a fun time to see what Microsoft is doing because they're rolling out updates in these different areas. Every update that comes with Microsoft and with Business Central, there's two updates that happen per year. One is in April, the other one is in October, and you'll see some additional small feature being added in one of these integration tools or products that we use day to day. So it's exciting what Microsoft's doing and exciting to share and show our audience members and how this could help them in their business eventually, or if they're looking for an ERP system, how this could help them maybe make that final decision saying, yeah, we're not now ready to move because we see these integration pieces that they need day to day. So
This, for me, is really where the value is, I think. It's the next step, isn't it, from having to like go and I need to go and log into this system to go and do this thing, and then I need to alt tab back to that customer email. Like this solves that, doesn't it, really? And it's the value of being integrated. It's the value of being within an ecosystem. Love it or hate it. I know it's almost like once you're trapped, you're in the ecosystem. But this is where the benefit is. It's probably why I like Apple products, for example. They're very good at this. It's building an ecosystem, and that's actually where the value is. The tool itself will
Hmm.
have lots of value, but it's how it integrates with existing processes or existing tools you're using. Um,
Yeah, yeah. And the whole, I think, business, doing business has changed, right? If we think about the core of business and how businesses are operating now, that's completely changed since COVID, right? And COVID's accelerated the fact that um, people are just going to be remote now, and we have to deal with it, and we have to make the data accessible for them. They're not going to be in the office. Um,
mm,
the world, business, the world is much bigger now. It's not like you're only doing business in the US anymore or anywhere else. You're doing business everywhere now, right? And um, because of these changes that are happening in the business landscape, your business has to be able to support that, right? And keep your employees um, um, with the freshest data, right? Be able to access the data when they need it, how they need it, all right, to make and turn around business decisions quickly. So, that the whole business landscape has changed since COVID, and I think Microsoft's done a good job in understanding it and realizing that, we need to make products that talk to each other. So, you know, companies could be more real time in making these business decisions to stay profitable. And they don't have time to waste, essentially, because the speed of business is getting faster.
let's start with, I think, probably the major one for me, which is BC integration with Microsoft Outlook.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge, long time coming. A lot of customers, even before Business Central, when it was NAV, were looking for this integration to integrate their ERP into Outlook. But it's here and it's been here for some time, but we're just seeing a higher adoption rate in companies using this more and more. So, what I'm going to share with us now is how this integration works. So in front of us, we see Microsoft Business Central. I'm logged into a sandbox environment. My company is called Business Central Headquarters, and I'm going to go and open up my Outlook here. And I have an Outlook email that I have up here. And it's basically first saying, this customer happens to be me, but this is just for demo purposes, is checking on status for a sales order number. Now, a few different things I could do here. I'm just in Outlook here. I could select this hyperlink, which is my sales order number. And because I have this connector already set up, and by the way, this is a native connector with Microsoft Business Central and Outlook. So once I've installed that and have it up and running, the system will then look for clues essentially, and it says, okay, well, this order number matches an order number in Business Central. So it'll give me a hyperlink, and I could quickly just select that hyperlink. And you'll notice that I get a box, a document view that appears, which essentially is behind the scenes transparently logging me into my Business Central environment because I have a license of Business Central and immediately opening up this order for me. So you see in this document view, I'm in this order number SORD101034, which is the hyperlink order. And as I scroll down, I could see this order as it was entered, as it was recorded and saved in Dynamics Business Central, right? If I need to make any changes, I can make changes here as well based on the email I received from this customer. So that's pretty neat from the standpoint that you could work fully in Outlook without having to say, all right, here's the order number, and let me copy it, let me paste it into my ERP, find the order number, and make the changes. This is really real time. This is getting things done intelligently because you have this embedded processes within your Outlook client. Now that's one example. Another example is what if you need to create a new order, not modify an existing order, but create a new order. Maybe a customer's called you and said that we're inquiring about a specific invoice, or they're calling to say, can you tell us our last three payments that we've made? Well, if I'm the CSR rep and I'm in Outlook, right, it's kind of a pain for me to go into Business Central and review this information and then write it down on my notepad and then come back and type it all up. Well, I could select what we call Contact Insights. This is the Dynamics Business Central Outlook plugin. I could open this up and I'll get a split screen that happens through Outlook, and I'll get basically my Business Central client operating, and the first thing it's going to tell me to do is select the contact that this email is for. Now, if I've linked this contact to Business Central already, the system will already know it and bring up that customer. I'll just go ahead and select this contact just for our example today. But here we see that it brings in the customer detail, right? This is very powerful from the standpoint that it shows you balance information, past due, right? Last year date information as you are interacting with your email. Don't have to get out of the system. Don't have to get out of Outlook. You get all this information right at your fingertips. And you'll notice the look and feel of Microsoft Business Central. That look and feel carries over right here into the Outlook client itself. So you're not like seeing a whole different look and feel that's going to confuse somebody that, hey, what solution am I really in? The navigation, the color scheme, the whole UI is identical to the actual UI as if you were to log into a browser. Nice little chart here. You get some more analytics, gives you some invoice information, right? Shipments, a lot of similar aspects to how you would open up a customer card in Microsoft Business Central. So in this case, if I wanted to see posted sales invoices, I could open up the posted sales invoices, look at all these orders. I could open up one of the invoices if there's a question on that, bring up the order, type up my email. If the customer says, I want a copy of this invoice, well, I could send it as an attachment, or I could email it straight away to the customer, which is pretty neat, right? So if I wanted to go ahead and email this, I could select email, and we'll get a new email that appears here that should basically have the email attached. So let's take a look here. Oh, there it is. It just came up on this other side. So here the system created a reply email and attached that invoice directly to my reply email, to the invoice that the email that I was on when I initiated this function. Just productivity to another level,
Yeah,
I
this
feel
is
like.
really nice because this has immediately put us into a reply of the email that we've just seen. Normally, I would click the reply button, go to my ERP, find the invoice, print a PDF, probably then have to save it onto my desktop, to attach
Mhm.
it to here, to send the email, to go back to my desktop and clean it up and delete that PDF because I've just used my desktop as a dumping ground. All
Right,
of that goes away in one click.
right, right.
That's basically what I've just seen. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Yes, yes. It kind of frees you up to be, really responding to customer requests. They're, asking for new pricing information potentially, or where you're strategizing how to keep this customer long term, or, getting new programs coming into the door, right? You're adding value in other places instead of just kind of trying to, copy and paste data from one system to another. This integration does a lot of that, kind of what I call admin analysis work for you very quickly with this integration between Outlook and Business Central here together.
Mhm.
Okay.
What I really like, I'm just trying to think of like real world examples here, is maybe you have an email from a customer, a regular customer that wants you to quote, maybe it's a quotation based business you're running. And if they come to me and go, well, I just want to quote for this, I can immediately see some things that might mean that I can't quote you. For
Mm-hmm.
example, we're seeing our AR position here.
Mm-hmm.
They might have an overdue invoices that are like overdue by 6 weeks. Now, I might not know that at the time and go and quote and go, I'm sorry, Mr. Customer. I didn't mean to quote you because I can't quote you until you pay your bill. You're not having to do that kind of backward steps. It's always there. It's really nice to see a very high level summary of every aspect of that customer. Even from here, I can see, are they up to date with their payments? How many other quotes have I got going on? Are there any open orders? Are there any outstanding balances, etc., etc.? So to
Right.
have that effectively on a single click within the very tool that the customer's communicating to me with, being in Outlook,
Mhm.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's again, I think the new way of doing business, business moving faster, right? And this almost seems like common sense, to be honest with you. Like, how come this wasn't here before? But, right, a lot of companies have been struggling with this for a very long time, and I'm really glad that Microsoft has come out with such a nice tight integration between these two products that will increase productivity. I think by leaps and bounds, to be honest, because it makes it very very nice to work with the data in both places. Right? If I want to just kind of real quickly show that I could create a quote from here, an order from here, and it brings me into my sales order entry screen as I would see it in Business Central, and quickly create. It takes the next number available. I could quickly go ahead and create my orders and put in my item numbers. And one thing to note, one of the future releases that Microsoft is doing is that they're gonna provide the ability where if the item numbers are listed on the email, that those item numbers will automatically carry over when you put in a new order, which is pretty cool. That's down the road. I don't know exactly when they're going to release it, but I know they are working towards that. So
That's really nice. That's like next
yeah,
level OCR.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, that's the Outlook integration. I think there's a bunch of value there, and this is going to get better and better after every update, year after year. So I'm excited to see how customers adopt this and use it. I think it's really powerful as it is right now, but it's gonna get much better over time.
Good. Um, Now the next one, Microsoft Teams. So what BC integration do we have with Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a ton. It's getting better after every update and every release. I'm gonna navigate to our customer list here in my Business Central environment, and what you're gonna see, there's gonna be a share icon, kind of hovering my mouse over it. But there's the ability, and you'll find this almost everywhere in the system, to open in Excel, edit in Excel, and then share to teams. Okay, and share to teams means that this is directly working and looking at your team's environment and will bring up a team's message box for you, like as if you're messaging another person. And if you wanted to go ahead and message, right, another user in your Teams instance, you could do that with the link of what page you're on in Business Central, or even the Teams channel itself. You could go ahead and do that and basically write something here. I could write checkout customers credit balances or credit limits here to somebody, and I could go ahead and share it. And the cool part is now this has been shared on Teams. So if I bring over my Teams now, here's Teams. I'll go to my chat. Here's a message I just basically initiated through Business Central, selected a contact through Teams. The system dynamically added the link and the ability to open up that list or page as part of the message that was sent over. So right here in Teams, I could see what I sent. I could open up the details here in this box, and this will open up what I call a mini Business Central client right within Teams for me to work with this data that was sent to me as as a link through Teams.
Is it able to share any view in BC?
Yeah, yeah. So we could
So I could
we
be
could
on any
change.
page. I could be on an order, and I could
Yep.
share that order.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely. As part of the messaging back and forth, right? Because somebody sent me this link and I need to do some work to it or whatnot. I see the data. I could basically work with this as a full-blown functional Business Central client and say, "Yep, I need to change this credit limit." So I change the credit limit to 350 and say, I could write here, credit limit changed. Please confirm, right? It's really that
Okay.
easy, right? There's no aspect of me, oh, here's what I need to change. Now I need to open up a new web browser, get into my Business Central environment, navigate to my customer list, navigate to my customer, change the credit limit, and come back. How many steps did I just save right there?
Mm. Yeah,
Right? This is
that's
all
very
very
cool.
interactive, collaborative, right? So Teams is becoming very popular. First, because it's very collaborative, and it really is a good business tool. You could link multiple different apps to it, and it has accessibility, remote accessibility, so on and so forth. But now you put in Business Central on top of it, you know, quite honestly, depending on what your role is in the company, you probably don't even need to open a web browser and access Business Central. You could do it all through Teams,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
you know. Another aspect of this is if I were just to close this and go back to my chat, I could have embedded tabs with Business Central in it. So if I were a finance person and I wanted to see my chart of accounts, let me maximize this, I could get my chart of accounts list directly that's showing in Business Central here as a tab through Teams. So think about an accountant or a CFO that needs constant visibility to their GL accounts. This is a huge time saver for them.
And what we're seeing here is exactly what we see in BC live.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. If I wanted to then look at further, drill into some of the GL entries, well, I could click that and I get into my GL entries table, which tells me, what's going on here. If I want to open up a fact box, I could open up a fact box over here, right? If I want to close this fact box, I close the fact box. If I want to put this in analyze mode, I could put this in analyze mode, and now I could go ahead and run some pivots on here if I want to. Maybe I want to group by GL account, right? Or if I remove this grouping, let's reset the column layouts, and let's say I want to do it by posting date. Now I could see isolate specific transactions by posting date and hone in onto this and see what's going on with it, right? And continue to analyze my data. As a financial person in this department where I don't have to get out of Teams and I could do all my work that I need to do directly through Teams with my Business Central environment embedded to it, it's going to make me a lot more productive. There is one con to this though that I do want to mention is that anytime you embed, at least at the moment, when you're embedding Business Central, you're adding Business Central tabs into Teams, and because of the way this works, is constantly in real time updating. So you see the most real time data. It is kind of a memory suck. So it could slow your machine down potentially, and create high memory percentage usages through your machine. But you could remove these tabs or whatnot, only add them when you need to. But that is one con. I think Microsoft still needs to work on how to really make this more seamless so it stays light on the Teams platform, because right now it is kind of a big memory taker at the moment.
I think that's throughout Teams at the moment, isn't it? Teams is quite a
Yeah,
hungry resource of RAM. I have
it
seen
is.
a developer build that is significantly optimized compared to the main branch we've got now. They have started rolling it out, but I think it needs to be enabled through Admin Center. They've done a lot of optimizations, and it's just around the corner.
Cool.
That's for most of the native functionality of Teams. So whether BC integration, PowerPoint integration, Power BI integration falls within that umbrella of optimizations, I'm yet to see it, but I have seen that it's getting a lot more efficient in terms of how much RAM it's using. So fingers
Oh,
crossed on
I
that
see.
one.
Fingers crossed. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know that there's some work being done to make this a little bit more lighter on its feet.
Yep.
Cool. So that's like the Teams integration. They're adding again, just like the Outlook integration, they're adding more and more to it every update.
Very good. What other tools have we got next?
We got this really handy tool. Now, Microsoft kind of holds, I always tell everybody, Microsoft holds the keys to the kingdom when it comes to Office products. They don't let other publishers integrate with their Office solutions very easily. This being Microsoft Business Central being a Microsoft product, it is very easy, as you notice with Outlook and Teams so far. But this other one I want to show is the Excel integration. And oftentimes, right, maybe you need to make mass changes to your data, right, or you're importing data, and you want to do it through Excel very easily. Okay. Remember back in the share option, I could select share, and I have two Excel functions here. One is open in Excel, and the other one's edit in Excel. I think open in Excel is pretty self-explanatory. You'll get this list view that opens in Excel. But I think the powerful function here is the edit in Excel function, whereby if I want to edit, one or many records at a time, I could do that with this edit in Excel. So here I'll show you that real quick. I'll go ahead and select edit in Excel. Maybe I want to change the payment terms for my customers or payment methods for my credit limits for my customers. So I'll do that. I'll bring in the Excel file. And what we'll see here is the system is dynamically authenticating me here, as you see with this source of, let me open this up so we can see this a little better. With my username and password, making sure I have a valid license. And it also brought in that list view that I did the edit in Excel in. Okay. So if I want to change my credit limits here for these customers, maybe, this customer, we're going to increase the credit limit. This customer, we're going to take them down the credit limit, right? Maybe this customer has no more credit limit. And then this customer is going up, some credit limit. So we could do that. And let's say we've also the customer changed their name from School of Fine Arts to School of Fine Projects to School of Fine Arts. Okay, let's change that. We'll also change the search description, School of Fine Arts. All right. And once I made my changes, I just hit publish. I'm going to go right back to the table. And you notice the publish successful, workbook updated. And if I refresh my Business Central environment, I will quickly see those changes. So we'll see here real quick. We've changed the School of Fine Arts, or School of Fine Projects to School of Fine Arts. If I look at my credit limits, you'll see my credit limits have updated here. This one's 150,000 now. And if I go to 30,000, we should not have a credit limit anymore because we removed it completely. So it makes the data maintenance, right, much easier. You can imagine, previously in different ERPs, this is a pain, right? It takes a lot of time. Some ERPs don't even integrate with Office products very, very well. So this is a really nice feature. Now, obviously, some companies will say, "Whoa, that's a security risk for us, so we don't like that." But this all could be controlled by security. There's permission sets around this, and we could add or remove permission sets by users and who have access to this functionality.
Yeah, that was what I was just about to ask, because we know how many mistakes there are made every second of every day in Excel. Get a little bit uncomfortable when I see how easy it is to take an entire table into Excel with everything editable. So there's obviously some security risks around there, but that's handled
There
with
is.
permissions. So the permission sets to be
Yep.
quite granular for us to do that, yeah. So I guess
Yes.
you could have a user be able to view it, but maybe not be able to edit it
Right.
in that way.
Right. Yep,
Okay,
exactly.
fine.
And there's two different permission sets for that.
Right, okay. I'm happy again.
Okay. Yeah. We got to keep you happy, Peter. We have to keep you happy. All right. The next one I want to show is Microsoft Word. And believe it or not, this is really handy to when you're updating customer-facing reports. Let's say a sales invoice or sales confirmation, right? You don't need a developer involved in doing small changes like this. So I'm going to navigate to what we call reports layout, and we'll go to custom report layouts. And these are all going to be type Word layouts for us. So let's say I go to sales confirmation. I want to create my own sales confirmation. We're going to look at report 1305, which is our sales confirmation report. We're going to make a copy of this. So now we got a copy of the 1305 report. Now let's say we're going to call it demo. Okay. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and extract it because I want to see and make changes to some of the layouts. So I'm going to extract this new report that I created. And as soon as we extract it, we're going to get a Word file that comes out. Okay. We're going to get a Word file that comes out. I'm going to enable editing. Here's our Word file. I'm going to open up our XML mapping pane. And what we'll see here is the ability to add and remove fields to our Word document. How powerful is that?
Yeah, that's really cool. This is
right?
such a pain
Oh
um,
yeah.
normally for an older
hmm
ERP because you
hmm
can't do this. You need to go straight to a developer.
Yeah, yeah, go straight to a developer, do this. You could easily train an end user to be the gatekeeper for their department's reports using this word layout structure, right? Not only do you have header level fields, but you also have the line level fields. So this is pretty neat in terms of another integration point between Business Central and Office. And I think everyone's getting the theme here who's watching this video is that this is very, very powerful. Microsoft has thought this through and really made sense of how they're going to, position all the other products when it comes to helping keep their ERP users productive.
I'm just in my head. I'm just running through all the things I've had from customers and requests. They want their item number, on their sales invoice, not my one. The one that's on their system, or
Exactly.
whatever it happens to be. Like,
Exactly.
um, and you always dread
So,
every single time you get one of those. You think, oh man, I'm gonna have
hmm
to phone up my tech support. They're gonna say, "Well, that needs to be sent to a developer. Do you want us to quote?" Like, here we go.
Yes. Here we go. Here we go. Exactly. Exactly. I don't know if a lot of partners are gonna like me saying this and showing this, but I think this is a great feature and really gets the users in the driver's seat to take ownership of the report of these smaller documents that are easy to maintain and manage. Um, so the partners more and could concentrate more on adding true value to your implementation.
Yeah.
So now the last and final piece I want to show is Power BI, which is huge. We did a podcast around Power BI, right? And we'll probably expand on this in a future date. But I'm going to open up my Power BI portal here, my Power BI desktop app, and I want to show how quickly and easily you could connect Business Central as a data source using Power BI. So I'm launching my Power BI instance. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get data. I'm going to say get data from another source. Media tells me where am I going to get my data from. I'm going to select Business Central. You notice I have two options here, Business Central SaaS and Business Central on-premise. I'm going to do SaaS because we're talking about SaaS here. We're going to connect this. This is going to dynamically log me into Business Central, basically verify I have a license to access Business Central, and then bam, I'm right into my database. I see all my different databases that I have here, one production, two sandboxes. I'll open up my sandbox. I'll go into the company I'm interested in to create a Power BI report. I'll open my standard APIs. I could then select the tables that I want to go ahead and begin creating some reports. Let's say I want to do customers and I want to do invoices, for example, right? Sales invoices, or I could do sales orders. Okay, I can hit load, and it's going to go and load this data for me very quickly into Power BI, and I could quickly now start creating my own dashboards that I want to create in Power BI. And then ultimately, if I want to embed the dashboard back into BC, I could do that as part of my role center. So this is really neat. When you do this, you could really easily come in through here, start creating your reports. So right, these we went through today. We went through Outlook, Teams, Excel, Word, Power BI, and there's additional ones out there too. We haven't even talked about One Lake. We haven't talked about the Dataverse. We haven't talked too much about Power Automate. But these are all additional areas of integration with Business Central and your ERP to take your ERP to the next level and make the ERP own for your business so you never outgrow it, right? You always could just continuously adjust to the system is designed to adjust to your business as you grow and as you mature.
I really like this. We've had a few examples here, whether it's turning emails into actionable tasks or collaborating within teams or utilizing the power of Excel's data management processes. It's all there through that integration directly back to your ERP. Um,
Yep,
that's really cool. So thank you for shedding some light on what we can do. And it's really just touching the surface. I know we've got some more
it
stuff
is.
that we want to cover, don't we?
Yep.
Especially on Power BI.
Yeah.
which will really start to elevate the value of being in like an ecosystem like Microsoft now has these
Yeah.
days.
You're the Power BI expert. I'm the ERP, so that's all you, Peter.
Brilliant, thank you.
No, this has been fun, and we'll be interested for our listeners' feedback. If there's something additional you want us to show, or something you liked or didn't like about this function, we're interested in hearing from you guys, right? We want to make sure these solutions are working well for the marketplace, and then maybe we could help Microsoft with some feedback from what we've shown today. So, all good stuff.
Yep, very good. Thank you. So, yeah, as Nirav says, if anyone's got anything they want to see, maybe you've got a very specific thing that you want to see, or a question of more about maybe the outlook and the kind of things we've seen or expanded on. So, just drop us a message in the comment after liking and subscribing and giving us a monetary donation. Then you get to ask a question.
Yes,
Well, thank you as ever, Nirav Shah.
thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure. I
Always.
hope this will open up some more topics for us to discuss. I know every single time that we seem to record a podcast episode, we end up thinking of 3 or 4 more topics
Oh yeah,
to cover. So that's really good.
absolutely.
Good.
Cool.
Take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one.
All right.